COVID is back again, particularly in tourist hotspots like Wexford, Waterford and Kerry, which now have the highest COVID incidence in the country. There has also been an increase in hospital cases, rising to 243 from 192 in a week. Half of those being treated for other illnesses, so they could be regarded, I suppose, as incidental COVID hospitalisations. Now, for more on this, we're joined from Prague by Clíona O'Farrelly, Professor of Comparative Immunology at Trinity College in Dublin. Clíona, good morning.
Morning, Pat.
Now, how real is this surge? And, I mean, how are they being discovered? Because no one's wearing a mask anymore. No one seems to be coughing and spluttering. Looking around the Newstalk offices, no absentees. So what's going on?
Well, it's entirely expected for precisely those reasons. Our behaviour has completely changed. We no longer do social distancing. We're not wearing our masks. We're in crowds. I mean, people saw what was happening in the airport. So, and the vast majority of us are vaccinated. So many of us who pick up an infection will pass it on without knowing it. So many people are symptomless. So that's how come 50% in the hospitals, would have been picked up when they went into the hospital, because there was no other reason to think that they were positive before they went in. So a surge is not surprising, though it's not exactly the same one as the WHO predicted a surge as well. There's probably another one coming down the line in September, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Now, vaccination, therefore, has worked because the guarantee was not that you wouldn't get COVID, but that you wouldn't get seriously sick and you wouldn't end up in hospital.
Exactly. The vaccines have been just amazing. They're far from perfect. We know they don't work in absolutely everybody, and we know that many people still get infected. But a whole load of people don't get infected, Pat. So the vaccines, and again, that's a big puzzle for us immunologists. Why does the vaccine work so much better in some people than in others?
And what's the latest theory on that, Clíona?
The course variability in the immune system. Yeah. The human immune system is so variable, because you'll know that I have a personal interest in why some people are resistant to infection in the first place. Mm-hmm. So that's the other thing that's out there. There is a proportion of people who are resistant to SARS-CoV-2, and we still don't know what proportion that is. Those would be people now who were exposed before vaccination. We're looking for people with 2 exposures, people who had been exposed before they got vaccinated and once again since, and still did not become infected. So those are the resistant ones. Then there are people who get infected but show no symptoms. Those are the symptomless people in whom the vaccine has worked enough to stop their sickness, but not necessarily enough to stop the actual infection itself. So there's still so much work to be done.
How concerned should we be about this slight, and it is only slight at the moment, uptick in hospitalizations which are separate from other conditions? Because, incidental discoveries of COVID are one thing, but people who are hospitalized only for COVID, that's something else. And the cases that are being diagnosed in the so-called holiday hotspots.
Yeah, well, you see, this is why it is quite serious, because there are still some people around who aren't vaccinated, and then there is the small percentage of people who, for whatever reason, don't make an immune response to the vaccine. We don't know why that is. I mean, it's been demonstrated to be 95% efficacious in trials, but that means 5% doesn't work. And 5% of a huge number of people is still a significant number. And then the third thing is that there are these 2 new strains coming down, they're coming down the road. So and then the fourth thing is that the immune response to the vaccine wanes. And again, back to the personal kind of variation in the human immune system, it wanes more in some people than others, and it is especially in older people. So anyone who is being recommended a booster or being offered a booster absolutely should take it. And I suspect the vaccine people are thinking about a booster for everybody come September.
You mentioned the variants that may be on their way. What's the WHO currently saying?
Yeah, they're saying they're on their way. It was the WHO that predicted are predicting the surge for Ireland and other parts of Europe in September. Because of these variants coming down, that the current vaccines wouldn't be quite as effective against these variants. And so I suspect that the the spike that we're having now is because of behaviour. But we probably still are likely to have this surge in September that's predicted by WHO.